Welcome to rSlash Offmychest, where OP pulls a gun on his gay son. Our next Reddit post is from Tossaway Star Wars. I pulled a gun on a gay teenager. My 6-year-old daughter kept telling me that she would see a man sneak into the house sometimes. His entry points would be different every time. Sometimes it was a window, then the front door, then the back door, then the kitchen window, etc. My daughter imagines stuff that's not real all the time, so that's what my wife and I chalked it up to. But that night, I thought I saw a figure walk by my window. I ignored it though, but then my daughter ran into our room saying she saw the man from her window sneak into our son's room. Our son is 16. And it sounded like he was hurting our son. I grabbed my handgun and ran into my son's room to see some shirtless man with facial hair. I pointed my gun at him and yelled for him to get out. Then I flicked on the light to see the man was much younger than I expected. Actually, just a boy. And he had much less facial hair than the dark lighting had led me to believe. I look over at my son, who's also shirtless, and he's completely horrified. I quickly realized what was going on and what the distress was that my daughter thought that her brother was going through, and I felt horrible. The boy ran past me and out the front door. My son hasn't looked at me, let alone said a single word to me since. I pulled a gun and threatened to kill a kid. I feel like garbage. OP, that is completely not on you. Someone sneaking into your house, even if they were invited by one of your kids, is super dangerous in America, where I assume this is taking place. Also, down in the comments, someone asks, "Did you know your son was gay? If not, he probably doesn't know what to say." Now would be a good time to tell him that you support and love him. And OP replies, "I didn't. There were signs that seem more obvious now that I do know." And then Hiroshi Takeshi says, "Come out with your hands over your head. Mom, I'm gay." Our next Reddit post is from Deleted. I slept with my sister's husband after she passed away. My older sister passed away 7 months ago. It was an accident, so totally unexpected, and I still don't believe that she's actually gone most of the time. It feels unreal. Our family still hasn't recovered, and I don't know when or if we ever will. My sister was 10 years older than me. I'm 22, and she would be 32 now. She and her husband have 2 kids, both under 5 years old. My family has been helping her husband with the kids. He's a good dad, but understandably, to suddenly become a single parent to 2 very young kids, all while needing to maintain his job and dealing with the grief of losing his wife, he needs help. He had moved closer to us because my sister wanted to be near us, her family. She wanted to raise her kids where we're from, where she grew up. He's from another state originally, but he agreed to settle down here when they got married because it was so important to my sister. I think we're all nervous that he'll move away now that he has no reason to stay, and we won't get to see the kids often. I just graduated college in the spring. This past year, I was helping out my niece and nephew a lot. I often pick them up from daycare and things like that because I have a flexible schedule compared to everyone else. I've always got along with my brother-in-law really well. He's always been nice to me and treated me like a little sister. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to him for advice, especially regarding guys and things like that. It's easier to talk to him about certain things because he gives me more honest, unbiased advice than my parents or sister. I really thought my sister was so lucky, and he was like the type of guy that everyone wants to marry. Good looking, good job, great dad, really personable, responsible, just like the definition of a complete package. My sister's been with him since they were both freshmen in college, and we all knew that she was going to marry him the first time we met him. Even me as a little kid knew that he was the one. All right, hold on, we can do some math here. Freshman year of college means probably 19. So that would be 13 years ago, 32 minus 19, which means that OP was 9 years old when she met this guy. Oh, actually, we don't know that. We don't know how old he is. Presumably he was around 32, probably a little bit older, more than likely. Oh no, actually, they were both freshmen, so we know he was 19, or, probably very, very likely 19. Okay, then that means he was 19 and she was 9 when they met. Okay. I slept with my brother-in-law this weekend. I was over there on Friday. I picked up the kids from daycare, which I do every Friday since I only work a half day. I made dinner at his place. I had no intention of doing it with him or even trying to. I have not been aiming for this to happen. But he initiated it and I didn't say no. It started with kissing. Then he started taking my top off and I let him do it. He didn't force me, to be clear. He's never done anything that I'd consider inappropriate with me or towards me. At the time, I enjoyed it. It made me feel so good that he wanted me. But at the same time, I kept thinking, this is wrong. So I sort of just laid there. It was very much about his pleasure. I think he just needed it to feel comforted or something. Afterwards, we got dressed and didn't say anything. Then he said that he was really sorry and that we shouldn't have done it. I told him it was okay. He said he'd prefer if we don't tell anyone about it, and I don't plan to. I feel so dirty about it. It was so wrong. I feel like a little kid who's done something that they're going to get punished for, and I'm convinced somebody is going to find out. Our next Reddit post is from Soldier. I married a serial pants pooper. In my defense, I had no idea until it was too late. So I've been married for about 10 years, and the marriage began to fall apart around September of last year. Earlier that year in February, my husband decided that he wanted to be poly because he met a stripper that he became infatuated with. I have multiple chronic illnesses, and we lacked intimacy. I loved him, so I decided to just let him do his thing. I was upset, of course, but I wanted him to be fulfilled. As you can imagine, things did not go well. She was stringing him along, and it was upsetting him to the point that he became an angry, depressed, and just downright awful person to be around. By September, he became irate over everything. He was so critical of me and mean. He started going out to the strip club an hour away from home every single chance he got. Naturally, the depression started to kick in as I began to realize that due to his horrible behavior, I wasn't in love with him anymore. And perhaps he wasn't in love with me either. I got bored and started going to the bar at my local Mexican restaurant about 15 minutes away from my house. And I met the bartender. I started coming in every night that he worked, and we bonded over drinks and had great conversations. I finally worked up the courage to give him my number, and he asked me to come over and watch a movie. I know that it was wrong, but I was extremely attracted to this man, so I said yes. Fast forward, my husband found out about the bartender, and we had a big blow-up. About a week later, me and my husband agreed to work on our relationship. However, my chronic illnesses flared up and I had to be admitted. It just so happened to be on our anniversary. My husband never once celebrated our anniversary or Valentine's Day. But this time, he came into my hospital room with roses. He told me there was more waiting for me when I came home. I was laying in bed, and I had just been given morphine and anti-nausea medicine by IV, so I couldn't defend myself. He pulled a chair up next to me, and right in my ear he whispered, "If we're gonna make this work, things are gonna change. When you're not sick and I'm off from work and you're not cleaning the house, you're gonna be on your knees sucking me off." That was it for me. The next day I go home, and sure enough, he had bought more flowers and $300 worth of jewelry from Walmart with the receipt laid out next to it. So I call him and tell him that we need to talk, and he comes straight home from work. I told him I was done. He starts crying and coughing so much that he pooped his pants right in front of me. When I got my car back from him, I found a bag with pants and boxers with poop all in them. My mind goes back to the times that I did laundry, and he wouldn't have any pants or boxers. I would ask him, "Where's your pants and boxers that I just bought you?" And he would just shrug. Now my head is spinning, and things began to make sense. While packing up his belongings, I found a second bag. 6 months later, guess what? Yep, more poopy pants. Last month, poopy pants. He's keeping them like trophies, like a serial killer. I don't know why he kept them. Wait, hold on. Is he doing this just because he can't, he literally can't stop because he's incontinent? Or is he doing it as like a fetish thing? Let me check these comments, see if I can find something. Okay, apparently the guy just literally can't help himself. OP writes down in the comments, "I don't know, but after I showed this to my good friend, Carly, she told me that her husband was at a party about 12 years ago and my husband was there. Apparently, my husband pooped his pants after coughing on weed in front of all of his friends. Okay, so he can't help it, which isn't necessarily his fault. It sounds like he's got a medical condition or something. But that still makes you wonder, why keep it? Either wash it or throw it away, but why keep a bag of poopy pants in your car for 6 months? Our next Reddit post is from Throwaway Teetering Sky. I chose my mom over my baby sister in a lake. This happened a while ago, but I'm still facing problems from my choice. No one died, but it was a really critical moment. My mom was playing with my siblings in a lake when she suddenly passed out for some reason. No one could tell us why. She just fainted. My 10-year-old brother could swim, but my 3-year-old sister wasn't that good and had a life jacket on, and she panicked. I chose saving my mom instead of getting my sister to the shore. Other people rushed in after seeing that I wasn't saving my sister, but my mom was drowning. My other family didn't go in to save my mom, but everyone had a heart attack when my sister started flailing. My brother was screaming for help, and no one did anything about it until my sister was panicking. My other family members were moving at a snail's pace until they saw that I wasn't saving my sister. Maybe they thought my brother was lying and being dramatic. I don't know. You could see that my mom wasn't moving and that she was sinking. My brother wasn't strong enough to keep her up. He was trying to, but no one was moving fast at all. I love my sister so much, but I didn't care about her in that moment. The second I heard my brother screaming that mom needed help and saw that no one was really moving, I went into fight or flight and didn't choose to save my sister. I've received extreme backlash from my family ever since, but I don't know what else I was supposed to do. I didn't think, I just acted. My mom is angry with me too, but I don't understand. My sister is now terrified of water and won't even get into a bath. I've been the hot topic of our family for the past month. I was sure my mom was going to die. I had to scream at my family to call 911 to do something. They were all more concerned about my crying sister than my mom, who was unconscious in a lake. I don't remember a lot about the aftermath, but I know that it was a lot. Sorry if none of this made sense. Today is just harder than most days, and I needed to vent. I'm so tired of being the bad guy. I didn't think that choosing to save my mom would be such a bad choice. Some days I regret it and then beat myself up over how stupid that sounds. And other days I just want to disappear. Everyone hates me and I just don't get it. Why would I not choose my mom? I've known her my entire life. She's my everything. I hate my entire family. No one handled that correctly in my opinion. My brother could have gotten hurt and my mom could have died. My brother is going through a lot too, and no one is worried about him because he didn't get hurt since he could swim. What? You literally saved your mom's life. She would have drowned based on the way you're describing this story, and they're mad at you for saving her instead of a kid who was in a life jacket? That's the whole point of a life jacket, is it keeps the person above water even if they're unconscious. So why would you save your sister who wasn't even in danger while your mom is slowly drowning? Huh? What? This is so stupid. OP, I'm completely on your side. Your family's anger is utterly unjustified. They should be celebrating you as a hero, not criticizing you. Our next Reddit post is from Throwaway Delay. Recently, my parents visited my condo. For the past few months since I bought it, they visited me regularly just to talk, so I thought it was just another visit. That is, until I saw something plugged into my living room. Me and my fiance clean our place once a week, so I didn't see it until now, and it was a nanny cam. For context, I'm a 25-year-old woman and he's 22. I unplugged it and called my parents about it, and they said they didn't know anything about it. I believed them at first, but when my fiance told me that they were the only people that had been in our place in the past week, I asked them again, and they confessed. Their reasoning was honestly appalling, and to put it simply, they wanted They wanted to make sure I wasn't having intercourse. Huh? We got in a really big argument, and I've told them to not visit me for a while, but they told me they'd do it anyways, and that we'd have a talk in person about me not being, quote, compliant. I'm a grown woman. There is no valid reason for them to break my trust and put a secret camera in my house. I honestly don't feel comfortable seeing my parents for a long time. They were already pushing their boundaries in my opinion with a lot of the comments they say about my fiance. They've said on numerous occasions that he was a slut, which is gross. The only person who's convinced me to still let me see them these past few months is literally my fiance. And yet, they still disrespect both him and his culture regularly. Alright, that is, this is unhinged. Of course you're doing it, man. You're two adults, 25 and 22, in your own place. So yeah, they're probably doing it. Probably not in the living room, but yo, these parents are dumb. Also, OP, this is illegal, so just file a police report, and that way you can hold this over their head forever. That was r/Offmychest, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit episodes every single day.